Okay, now let's talk about the SVT-4pro. The SVT-4pro, like the 3pro, has an all-tube preamp section, but the focus on the 4pro was we were looking to produce an amplifier that just had tremendous amounts of power. Bass players are power hungry. We need more and more power to produce those thumping low frequencies. The SVT-4pro is 1200 watts mono bridged into 4 ohms. Now when I say mono bridge, that tells you that there's actually 2 power sections in this amplifier. There's a number of different ways it can be run. And when I flip the amp around, we'll take a look at that. But for now, let's look at the front of the panel. It's very, very similar to the 3pro in that you have a 3-band shelving EQ with the variable mid-range selector switch, just like on the 3pro, ultra high, ultra low boost, mute switch, minus 15 dB, tuner out. You also have built-in compression. The more you turn it up, the higher the compressor goes. So usually most bass players, if you're doing a lot of slapping and tapping, you probably want to leave the compressor somewhere about there. Some guys actually like it up all the way. Bright switch, defeatable graphic EQ, which is also accessible with a foot switch. Effects bypass. So if you're running effects in the effects loop out back, with the foot switch you can disable the effects altogether. Limiter defeat. The amplifier does have a built-in limiter. If you don't want to use it, you can defeat it with the front panel switch. Master volume, and of course these two guys. The 4pro has a built-in crossover on the back, so that if you choose to run it by amp, which you can by using both power amps independently, you can, with a matter of a couple of guitar cables, you can patch it so that you're using the onboard crossover. You can set the crossover point, and you can set the balance between the power amps, whichever cab you want to assign more power to. You can do so with this control. So that's the front panel. Let's flip it over and take a look at the back. Okay, now we're looking at the back of the 4pro. Kind of looks a little bit like mission control, don't you think? With all those inputs and outputs. We'll start with the easier ones first. Again, you get a courtesy outlet, so if you're running effects or something else in the rack, you can power it off that courtesy outlet. Moving right along, now we're getting into the mission control aspect of it. But one of the cool things about the 4pro, the reason why everybody buys the 4pro is they gotta have 1200 watts of mono bridge power. That's the main selling point on an SVT-4pro. And how do you do that? Well, if you notice, there's 3 speak-on outs. You have left, power amp B, right, power amp A, and then in the middle, mono bridged or biamp. This is where you come out of. Now the 4pro comes with its own proprietary speak-on Neutrik cable that's wired for mono bridged operation. When you do buy an SVT-4pro, if you want to get that 1200 watts out of the amplifier, you have to use the cable that comes in the box. If you happen to buy one secondhand or used or from your buddy and they lost the cable, you can make one very easily. It's very simple to do. But to come mono bridged, there you go. Like I said, those Neutriks, once they're locked in, they don't come out. I would lift the amp off the cabinet before that would come out. A couple other features about the 4pro that a lot of players like are, you can run a dual mono. So if you wanted to run, say, 2 410 cabs or 2 210 cabs, you could run right side and left side and operate both cabinets off of each side of the amplifier. If you wanted to run it stereo, you could do the same thing by doing that, running one cab off of each output, and then apply stereo effects through the effects loop. Again, stereo effects loop as well, stereo balanced outs. The amp is a true stereo amplifier. The other reason why people like the 4pro is you can actually run it biamp, and like I said about the front panel, you have the crossover. All you need to do is just jump a couple of these outputs to the power section, and now you've got a fully biamped bass amplifier. By doing that, you can run one output to, say, like a 15 and run another output to a 210, and then on the front crossover panel assign what frequencies you want to go to which cabinet. So if you want only lows or say 500 hertz and below, go into the 15 or 18, you can do that, and then everything above that goes to the 210. So that's another way of running the 4pro. Like I said, it's mission control back here. There's a number of different ways that you can hook this up. One thing I always ask people that buy a 4pro, and they'll email me or call me or ask me and say, you know, how do I do this? And of course, I'm always happy to help, but I always recommend two things. You got to have the mono bridge cable and read the manual. And when you're done reading the manual, go back and read it again, because I guarantee you probably missed some stuff, but it's a good idea to just keep on hand so you can learn the intricacies of the 4pro. Hey, one thing I just want to talk about, I want to clarify about that mono bridge cable that we were talking about that you have to use with the SVT-4pro. Like I said, the SVT-4pro, it does come with a mono bridge cable in the box when you buy one brand new, but should you lose it or anything happens to that cable, you don't necessarily have to use that exact cable. You can always make one. It's very easy to do. It's very simple. You just take a cable that has a nitric end on it. There's on most nitric connectors that have 4 posts. The cable that comes with the 4pro is actually wired what is called +1, +2. There's 4 connections on there. And you know, on most normal connections or most normal nitrics, the cable's actually wired +1, -1. Just like if you had a 1/4-inch tip, it'd be tip and ring or tip and sleeve. You simply just want to take the -1 and put it over to +2. It's very easy to do. It's not like you have to use that exact same cable that comes in the box. It's very easy to make one. If you have any more questions or any problems with it, you can always email us at ampeg.com. Go to the website and click on my email address, and I'd be happy to help you with that as well. So there you have it, all right?